Some of the most powerful villains of the Silver Age weren't the famous names you see in movies, but absolute monsters hidden in old issues. Today, we're digging into those underrated threats from DC and Marvel, and counting them down from the weakest on this list to the one that could reshape entire worlds. If you like this kind of deep dive into forgotten Silver Age villains, make sure to hit like, drop a comment saying who shocked you the most on this list, and subscribe so you don't miss the next ranking. The Key is a criminal mastermind of the Justice League, debuting in the Silver Age when he first faced them in Justice League of America. Obsessed with unlocking the hidden potential of the mind, he created bizarre psychochemicals that awakened 10 senses and pushed his own brain far beyond normal limits, turning him into a cold, calculating planner who sees every hero as just another lock to pick in his endless schemes. He first targeted the League by secretly dosing Snapper Carr, spiking the team's punch so the heroes were manipulated without even noticing his presence or his strange keymen. Armed with his deadly key blaster and long-range plans, he later spent years in a self-induced coma to expand his mind, waking with a gaunt, corpse-like body and upgraded powers that earned him a seat among groups like the Secret Society of Supervillains. The Controller is Basil Sandhurst, a gifted but bitter scientist whose obsession with control leads to a catastrophic lab accident that leaves him crippled and dependent on a heavy exoskeleton. Instead of changing his ways, he doubles down on domination, designing an armored suit powered by slave discs, sinister devices that latch onto victims, hijack their minds, and siphon off their mental energy to supercharge his own strength and resilience. With every new slave, the Controller grows stronger, his armor granting him superhuman force, flight, and bursts of telekinetic power channeled through his helmet. He becomes a recurring nightmare for Iron Man and other heroes, sometimes acting as hired muscle for bigger threats like Korvac, other times operating alone like a one-man tyrant, proving that when he appears, no one on the battlefield can be sure they are acting of their own free will. Psycho Man is a brilliant but ruthless scientist from the Microverse, ruling a cluster of worlds with cold technocratic logic before turning his attention to Earth in the pages of Fantastic Four. Instead of brute force, he carries the infamous Control Box, a handheld device that fires emotional rays tuned to fear, doubt, and hate, letting him shatter his enemies from the inside out. With a twist of a dial, Psycho Man can push heroes into total panic, paralyzing them with terror, or making them question every move until they break down mid-battle. His experiments reshape crowds, turning whole cities into living test subjects, and every defeat only drives him to refine his methods, proving that the right manipulation of emotions can be more dangerous than any army. Dr. Polaris is Neil Emerson, a brilliant but unstable scientist who first appeared in Green Lantern in the 1960s, obsessed with exploring the full potential of magnetism. After experiments with intense magnetic fields and strange treatments, he developed a dangerous split personality, where the heroic side of Neil is constantly overshadowed by the ruthless persona of Dr. Polaris, who craves nothing but control and raw power. As Dr. Polaris, he manipulates magnetic forces on a terrifying scale, bending metal, disrupting technology, and even tugging at the Earth's magnetic field to trigger quakes and disasters. He started as a Green Lantern villain, but grew into a roaming threat who joined groups like the Secret Society of Supervillains and the Suicide Squad, proving that even among DC's rogues, his power and instability make him a dangerous wildcard. Blastaar is a brutal conqueror from the Negative Zone, once the iron-fisted ruler of the planet Balor before his own people finally overthrew him and locked him in a containment suit. Cast into deep space as punishment, he drifted through the strange energies of the zone until he crossed paths with Reed Richards and Triton, blasting his way into our reality and crashing straight into a showdown with the Fantastic Four during the late Silver Age. On Earth and beyond, Blastaar proved he is far more than simple muscle, wielding superhuman strength, near-invulnerable durability, and explosive energy bursts that erupt from his hands like living bombs. He moves between uneasy alliances and bitter rivalries with Annihilus, sometimes teaming up, often trying to overthrow him, while clashing with Avengers, Inhumans, and other heroes every time he launches another invasion from the Negative Zone. Super Adaptoid is a living weapon created by IIM using advanced tech tied to the cosmic cube, first appearing in the Silver Age as an android built to copy the powers of Earth's greatest heroes. After locking onto the Avengers, it redesigns itself into a bizarre patchwork warrior, carrying Captain America's shield, Hawkeye's bow, and other trademark gear, turning its whole body into a twisted reflection of the team. Once Super Adaptoid scans a target, it mimics not only their weapons but also their strength, speed, and energy powers, combining abilities in ways even the original heroes never would. Over the years, new versions are built and upgraded, some linked to alien tech like the Phalanx, and each time it returns, it comes closer to wiping out entire teams in a single, perfectly calculated assault. Validus is the terrifying powerhouse of the Fatal Five, a towering giant with an exposed brain and monstrous features who can brawl with Superboy and still come out on top. His brute strength is only half the horror, because Validus also unleashes devastating psychic lightning from his brain, blasting through the defenses of Kryptonians, Daxamites, and entire teams of heroes with a single mind-shattering strike that few can endure. For years, he seemed like nothing more than the team's attack dog, until a brutal twist revealed that Validus is actually Garrett Rands, the kidnapped son of Lightning Lad and Saturn Girl transformed by Darkseid into a living weapon and hurled back into the past. That revelation turns Legion history upside down, as the parents learn they have been fighting their own child before the curse is broken and Validus is restored to innocent infancy. Composite Superman is Joseph Meach, a washed-up diver saved by Superman who ends up working as a janitor in the Superman Museum, quietly resenting the heroes he cleans up after. One night, a freak lightning strike hits the Legion of superhero statues on display, flooding Meach with their combined energies and gifting him the powers of dozens of Legionnaires, from flight and super strength to shrinking, duplication, invisibility, and more. With his new abilities, Meach designs a striking look, green skin, and a costume split right down the middle, half Superman and half Batman, proudly calling himself Composite Superman. Armed with telepathy, he discovers their secret identities and humiliates both heroes in public battles before his stolen powers begin to fade. Later, an alien named Zan restores his abilities, but Meach ultimately redeems himself, sacrificing his life to save the very heroes he once tried to destroy. The Stranger is a mysterious cosmic wanderer who first arrives on Earth in the Silver Age posing as a superpowered mutant, only to reveal himself as something far stranger, a scientist from the stars studying entire civilizations. Fascinated by mutants, he casually captures Magneto and Toad, sealing them in stasis and hauling them to his distant laboratory world as if they were rare specimens pinned inside a gigantic cosmic experiment. Wielding a version of the power cosmic, the Stranger can reshape matter, redirect energy, and imprison whole groups of beings with a thought, treating planets like test tubes in a universe-sized lab. Later stories hint that he might actually be a composite being made from multiple colossal Eternals, making his true nature even more unsettling as he manipulates heroes and villains, not out of hatred, but cold scientific curiosity. Suneater is a colossal cosmic engine that drifts through space, devouring entire stars, draining their light and mass until they collapse in catastrophic explosions. In the classic Legion of Superheroes saga from the Silver Age, one Suneater moves toward Earth's sun, and even the combined might of the Legion is nowhere near enough to stop it in a direct clash, forcing them to search for truly desperate solutions. Realizing the scale of the threat, the Legion forms an uneasy alliance with 5 deadly criminals who become the Fatal Five, because heroes and villains alike will die if the Suneater wins. Their first plan fails, so they build a special bomb that must be delivered right into the creature's core, and Pharaoh Lad sacrifices his life to detonate it, turning the Suneater into cosmic dust and marking one of the most tragic deaths of the era. That's our tour through the most powerful yet almost forgotten Silver Age villains, from the weakest all the way up to the universe killers. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, drop a comment telling me who deserves more respect, and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next one.